Hi, Falcons. Today, I thought we could all use a little positive energy. So, we are going to be using positive words to create a crayon resistant watercolor painting. I chose the word smile and created this beautiful crayon resistant art piece. And I am going to teach you guys how to do that today with your own positive word. You are going to need a piece of paper, crayons, and some watercolors with a brush. Please do not forget to get a cup of water and something to lay your paper on to protect the surface that you are working on. Gather your materials. We are going to start by putting our paper horizontally in a landscape way. We're going to fold it in half so it almost looks like it could be a nameplate. We are then going to think of a word, brainstorm. I gave you a list of positive words that were attached to the materials sheet, and there were all sorts of positive words: creative, wonderful, fun. I am going to choose the word brave, and using a black crayon, I am going to write that word really big in bubble letters. If you want to get some help with this part, that is fine. You can trace letters or just draw them freehand, making sure we use crayons, because when we get to the watercolors, it's going to be so interesting for you to see that watercolor paint does not stick to the wax of crayons. So that's how we get that wax resistant effect. So we are going to write a word. I chose the positive word brave. I think all of my Falcons have been very brave this year, learning how to navigate the internet and use Schoology. So you have all exhibited brave behavior this year, learning new things. Then in each of the letters, you are going to create a different design. Make sure you leave white within it, because that is going to be where the watercolor goes. So if I chose to do some diagonal lines here, I want to leave some areas white, and in a few minutes you'll see why. I am going to then continue to make designs on each of my letters, making sure I use crayons for each of the designs. If you're going to watercolor the background, you need to use crayon as your design, because the watercolor, again, will not stick to the wax of the crayons. You can do all sorts of fun designs. Now I'm doing a wavy line, and maybe I could even choose a different color and do a wavy line going another way. I'm going to continue on to another letter. I think I'm going to do a cross hatch on this one where I have lines going both ways. Kind of gives it a checkerboard look. And I'll finish it off with some curly cues. So again, we have a design on each letter using crayons. We only wanted to use crayons on this part of our project. We are then going to take our project and put it on top of a piece of paper to protect the surface that we're working on. We don't want paint or watercolors to ruin a great table in your house. Get your watercolors ready with a glass of water. We're going to open those up, excuse me, and start painting. Remembering, we are gentle with our brush. We are not using a toilet brush, it ruins our brush. And we want to use our water because it keeps it wet. Now I'm going to start by dipping it in the paint. Notice I get it really wet, and when I put it on and paint, it does not stick to the crayon that I already drew. Watercolor paint does not stick to wax from crayons, so it creates a really cool effect and doesn't ruin the design we've done behind it. I can then choose another color and do the same thing with my other letters, so it creates that cool background on that letter. So all that white is going to get covered up. I'll choose another color maybe, and I'm going to choose a purplish right here. And again, it is not sticking to the wax of the crayon. That is called crayon resistant or wax resistant painting. So we created that. I'm going to choose another color. I'm going to choose some yellow here. And again, I'm going to choose one other color. I'm going to choose a blue here. And you could try as hard as you want to, but it will not stick to that wax from the crayons. So it's really hard to make a mistake. It'll keep you within your lines. When you have finished that, choose a color that you'd like to use and paint your entire background. Continue painting that entire background. When you continue to do it, you will end up with a product that looks very similar to this. And if we took all of our students' work and put it together, it would be a wonderful display of positive words to make us feel better during these times when we could use that little pick-me-up. When you have finished with your painting and have let it dry, make sure you dump that water and clean up carefully and ask yourself those important questions. Did I follow directions and use crayons to create a design? Did I then use watercolors and did create the whole paper being covered? Did I work carefully and creatively? And if you can say yes, well then you will sign your name, because that is something all great artists do. Make sure you click and share your work with me, because I love seeing student work. Have a great day.